Hello and welcome to the Rewrite Your Story podcast. This is episode 20. I am actually really excited to say that. 20. It's been a long ride and I'm happy we're here. And this week, as I say every week, I'm really excited to share these episodes with you. And that's still the same with this week's episode. As you will see if you're watching on YouTube, we do have a guest with us this week. And this guest we've actually had on before, the wonderful Shauna Griffith. We had her on, maybe, 9 months ago-ish, 8 months ago, when she'd first kind of jumped headfirst into her business. And this week, I really wanted to bring her back just to get a bit more of a deeper insight into her story and just to share some tools with you guys that you can take into your everyday life. This episode, we kind of talk about how you turn your shit into art, how you can, embrace those masculine and feminine energies and use them to your advantage. We do jump into a bit of the entrepreneur mindset in this one, but definitely the entrepreneurial mindset tools that Shauna talks about is something that is relevant to your personal life as well. But yeah, I'm going to stop rambling and just dive into the episode. So I hope you guys enjoy. Hello and welcome to the Rewrite Your Story community. This podcast was created to inspire others to take power back into their own lives. I'm here to share the stories and tools that I have learned through my own life experiences and my guests as well to help you rewrite your story forever. This podcast is best paired with an open mind and a journal. So let's get comfy and dive right in. Everybody, and welcome back to the Rewrite Your Story podcast. As you can see, this week we have a wonderful guest with us, and for those who have maybe tuned into past episodes, you will notice that it is a returning guest. So Shauna, I guess for those that don't know you, if you could give us a little intro into who you are and what you do.
Sure. Thank you so much. Very nice intro. And I'm really glad to be back. So my name is Shauna Griffith. I run an online acting school and a casting agency, which is lots and lots of fun, and host a couple of podcasts as well, the Lindeza podcast and Take Two Online Acting School, the podcast. So yeah, I just kind of have my hands in a few different places, busy bee, and having fun with it, I guess.
Thank you, Shauna. It's nice to hear kind of a bit more, like, I know you do those things, but it's nice to get like a reminder. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, you juggle that and this.
I sometimes forget myself, to be fair.
Yeah. And I think anybody who's listened to the past episode where we had you on, like, they kind of got to know a bit more of your story and you delving into this business, kind of transitioning from the corporate world into what you're doing now, and like you say, juggling all your pies. And I kind of wanted to get you on this week to delve into a bit more of that story. Anybody who's been listening to the podcast recently will see that I've been having some entrepreneurs on, and we've been diving deeper into their stories, their whys, their reasonings, and kind of going through setbacks that they've had and overcoming them. And I look at someone like you, Shauna, and like you, I know we were talking a little bit before this episode started, but you inspire me in so many different ways. And like, no, and that's why I have you here. I'm like, I feel like people need more of Shauna. But I know, like, as you say, Shauna, like, you've grown so much in the past couple of months, and even in your career, like we talked in the last episode about how you were in the corporate world transitioning over to now. Anybody watching on YouTube, you're getting a little show. Shauna's taking her hoodie off.
Got really warm. The sun is like coming right in my apartment, and I'm like, whew.
But yeah, she just distracted me there with her striptease.
Still in my big baggy jumper as well.
I know. Well covered up.
T-shirt, big baggy jumpers. We love them.
Yeah, we need to be comfy.
I know.
You do. But as then, like, you're in our last episode, we even talked about not only you've grown now, but even the last episode, you had your challenges. You'd moved from a corporate world into actually doing your thing. And like we said, from someone like yourself who is successful, who is growing, who's not even at the peak, nowhere near the peak of where she's going to be. How do you navigate setbacks, and what kinds of setbacks have you had, I guess, early on and more recently, I guess?
Yeah, like I was kind of thinking about this, and in retrospect, like last year, so like 2020 was probably one of the best years of my life, but also probably one of the toughest, like the hardest year of my life, like emotionally and mentally. Near the start of the year, my best friend passed away, and that just destroyed me, as it would. But like Portia was the kind of person that if I had sat there and wallowed in my sorrows, like she would probably punch me in the face and like cut off my ponytail. Like she literally was just telling me I'm being an idiot. And like I often say to my actors, like there's a technique that we use to bring up like natural emotions, and it's called emotional memory. So you harness an emotion that you've had in the past and you use it for your acting. And I think that that's kind of what I did last year, was like harness that sadness and that like brokenness. And I still have the days when I'm just like, I need to just sit there and do nothing and like have a little cry. And if I've had too much wine, I'm going to have a little cry, and you won't know yourselves. But I'm going to take my shit and turn it into art. And that's kind of the mindset that I have had in the last year. But like, that's not to say that it went smoothly by any means. It did not. Like we started, I don't know why I say we, I started strong out of the gates, like in May, like through summer was strong, like in terms of like getting new clients, business was going really well. And I kind of got to like probably around like October, November, and it was stalling. It was slowing down. And I was like, fuck, like this is scary because I don't have another income. Like this is my income, and this is what I live off. And I am fine to say that I like a very nice lifestyle. Like I don't like cooking. I like to get my food delivered to me. Like I don't like, I like these things, and I want to make sure I can still afford my lifestyle. And like from I'd say November to like end of January, I was majorly in a rush, like majorly. And I just felt like shit. And I was like, I can't do this. Like, I don't know if I can do this. People don't want to work with me. Like they don't have the money. Actors don't have the money at the moment because of COVID. And I was making all these excuses, really like external, like scarcity mindset excuses, being like, oh, they don't have the money, so then they can't afford to work with me. So maybe I should lower my prices, or maybe I should pivot, and like all this shit. And I was like, oh, maybe I should get into corporate communications because I can help coach public speaking. But I don't enjoy it. Like I don't find joy in that, but there's good money in it. And it was very much this like scarcity mindset of like, oh, I must go and chase the dollar, which is damaging and it's not helpful. So that was kind of for 3 months, like say last quarter of 2020. And I was just like, I don't know, I just was off. Like I was just off. I was having a lot of anxiety, just feeling very down, having days. And I was like, I can't do this. I was quite sick as well at one point. And I was just like, essentially. But it got to like the end of January, and I was like, okay, cop on. Literally cop on. You're being an idiot. You're being so self-wallowing. You're being so self-pitying. You're just blaming everything else except instead of looking at yourself. Like what's going on there? And I got to the point and I was like, this is kind of pathetic, Shauna. Like, what are you doing? And I just got pissed off at myself, and I was like, right, let's do something about it. So I honestly think this is possibly the best thing I ever did. Like it was brilliant, because what I did was I said, right, the 28 days of February, they are a selfish February. I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to prioritize me, because up until that point, I had been putting my business first and totally like putting myself aside, like health, fitness, like downtime, headspace, everything. I was like,
I relate
like
to that.
You can relate. And everything for you just goes to shit. And I was not putting my business first. I mean, myself first. And selfish February was for me. And I was going to put myself first. And like literally simple things like finding a nice morning routine that I love. Like I get up now and I I read a book, but it's not like a self-help book or it's not a business book. It's just a novel. Like it's just a nice old novel. I'm reading, what is it at the moment? Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. I don't know if I can't get into it. My mom and sister recommend it, so I'm going to keep going. But it's just a novel. There's no purpose behind this. So I read for like 20, 30 minutes, however long I want to, essentially. And then I journal. Like I write down like my affirmations. I write down what I'm grateful for, some like manifestations, like just really putting me first and like starting the day well and starting the day talking to myself nicely, because I felt like that negative self-talk had really become intense. Like look in the mirror, be like, fuck you, you are so fat, like you are so ugly. And it's just like, that's not good. Like, and I can say that now. In the time it was just like, oh, but that's just how my brain works. And now I figured it's like, no, that's how you programmed your brain. You need to reprogram it.
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing. So just making that switch. And I started following a lot of people, because I think we're going to get into like energies here, because this is what I've gotten into. And I love it.
And I'm exploring that realm too. So go for it.
Yeah. So I started following a lot of people that would talk about energy and the universe and all that. And initially I was like, fucking hippies. Like
that was me 2 years ago. It was like hippies, weird shit. And now I'm like
yeah, I'm like, that's very hippy dippy, not me. I'm very pragmatic, like
logical thinker, like
literally.
Yeah.
And then I discovered this like masculine and feminine energy. And I was like, okay.
I'm such a man.
I am such a man.
Same.
My masculine energy is so prevalent.
Dominant. Yeah.
So dominant. But it's not like a wounded masculine. Like I know how to set my boundaries now. I didn't before. So like gone from like this wounded masculine to the divine masculine, what they call it. And then trying to actually bring in more of the feminine energy and bring in the like intuitiveness and attraction and the magnetism. Because I'm just going to keep talking here, but like even before, like in terms of how I was getting my clients was like going out and finding. So I was outsourced, going and looking at like hashtag aspiring actors, sending DMs and like going out to look. But I found that so draining. And I was getting on all these sales calls and trying to like sell my services and like sell myself and everything. And I just found it like, you'd be on like fucking 8 sales calls a week, and that's 8 hours, like really. And maybe you'd make 1 sale. Feck that. Like, honestly, God, feck it. Like, that's ridiculous. So I just kind of tried to bring in more of this feminine energy of like attraction and looking after myself so that I can give out that energy to other people just naturally. And end of February, I posted a TikTok and it went viral. Like, I had no idea. That was not planned. It was not strategic. It was nothing. It was a random thing. I was trying to do a casting and I couldn't find a person for the role. And my friend Rebecca was like, sure, just post on TikTok and see what happens. I was like, oh, fucking fun. Like, hi guys, I'm an Irish acting agent and I'm looking for you. La, la, la. Like, just, I didn't know what else to do. And I forgot I'd posted it entirely. Like, I posted on a Friday and I was like, feeling a bit like, and I remember that Friday, like, the weather was shit. I live in Ireland and it was just raining and it was gray. And I was like sitting on the stairs there, just like feeling sorry for myself. And then I posted TikTok and I was like, I still feel sorry for myself. I went off and did something. I think I went, like, honestly, I could have gone back to bed. And then woke up Saturday morning, came down, was like, right, do my morning routine, read my book, did my affirmations. And I looked at my phone and I was like, the fuck is this? Like, what's going on here? And I had gained like 3,000 or 4,000 followers overnight on TikTok, and it had gone like a lot of views. And that weekend was mental, absolutely mental. It grew to like 10,000 followers in like 5 days, and is now at like 12.1 or something. So like, but then I had to bring in some of the masculine energy and think, right, strategy. Yeah. How am I going to capitalize off this growth? and like trying to balance all of that. And it worked. Like I've had my best period in business ever. Like in the last, like since kind of the last week of February, we're now middle of March, I've signed like 12 new clients. I've had to hire another coach. I'm interviewing another coach tomorrow to possibly hire, and I've hired an admin. So like it's growing hugely. We've just released a 6-week course, self-paced. We have workshops that sold out. We have more workshops coming up. We have an intermediate workshop coming up. Like it's all go. And honestly, I totally think that's because I put me first, and I've continued to. Like, I am the driver. This is my business. If I'm not good, my business doesn't work. If I can't give energy, my business doesn't work. So like putting me first and like having this like CEO mindset of like, I am an industry leader. I'm innovative. I am the only acting coach in Ireland doing this. So like I am an industry leader in this sense, and just appreciating that as well. Like really fucking grateful. I'm just like I write down on my grateful list every other day. I'm like, I am grateful to my mind for being creative and innovative. Like, because I am, and I'm so grateful for like the opportunities that I have been given, but also created.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you'll have hard times. Like the last couple of days, I've just been off mentally. I've just been off. I've felt a bit shit. I was tempted to almost text you and be like, can we reschedule? I'm just a bit flat. Aww. But I want to show up, and I want to show up every day. And like, if I start putting that off and allowing that kind of headspace to get in the way, I'm never going to get stuff done. I'm never going to do it. I forgot today was St. Patrick's Day entirely. I've scheduled things all day, and I don't really care because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what else would I be doing? We're in lockdown. Like, that's the thing. It's when I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm enjoying this journey. It's chaotic, it's busy, but it's brilliant. And I've gotten over last year and like the hardships of it, because something clicked in my head being like, you have to look after you first.
Yeah. Like they say, when you're in an airplane and the masks come down, it's not put masks on the people you love first. It's put your mask on first. So you get oxygen so you can help the others. Yeah. And I think like you really hit the nail on the head when you were saying like you were going out to get the clients. Like that's something I definitely resonated to, because when I first started my podcast and all my like social media presence in this realm last year, I was doing it for me. I was doing it for younger me. And out of nowhere, I'd be like, how'd that episode get like 300 downloads? I've done no marketing on this. I just put it out. What the hell? And then as we were talking off camera, I had that little kind of setback with scarcity, and I ended up getting a job in the middle of this and put all my stuff in the back burner. And then when I came back, I felt like I'm scrambling just to get things. And then more recently, I've just started to like, I like have this mantra that I use: manage energy, not time. And I've been slowly getting a bit of traction, but the biggest thing, the takeaway that I've got from what you've just said is about your selfish February. And I'm like, I'm going to do a selfish April. I'm going to like, I feel like that.
It's so important. Like just to have a reset. Like it's just okay, I am important. Like, and just to remind yourself about that, because it's so easy to get lost in the busyness and the franticness that can be entrepreneurship. It shouldn't be frantic, but it can be. And I've definitely been frantic, like 100%. But it's all about mindset at the end of the day. And like, if you aren't in control of your head, you're not in control of your business, or you're building your business that isn't sustainable and isn't going to serve you.
Yeah.
You're not going to,
if it's not aligned with you, then you're not going to be able to keep it up.
No, not at all. Like, and that's in every facet of life, I think. Like, it's that sustainability. Like, is your relationship sustainable? Is your diet sustainable? Is your exercise routine that you've gone full feckin' force into sustainable? Or are you going to burn out after 6 weeks and rebound. Like it's everything. So that's where I've learned like outsourcing is so important. Like I hired a girl, Nicole, to like help me with like admin DMs, because like in the heat of it, my DMs, I'd wake up and there's like 70 DMs, and these are all people that are interested in what I do. So like I have to respond to them. I clear them, refresh, and there's like 50 new ones. And I'm like, like I literally couldn't, like I could not do it on my own. So brought in this girl, Nicole, and I'm obsessed with her. She's amazing. I love her. Like she's actually keeping me sane. Like she's just used to me like sending her random voice notes, being like, hey, so do you know that scene from this movie where your man is talking about this? Can you find that monologue for me? Cool, thanks. Like she gets it. And then I have a new coach as well, who's incredible, because again, I've learned that I can't do everything. But that's not to say outsourcing is not difficult, because at the end of the day, your business is your baby.
Yeah.
I'm like,
they become your family.
How did it go? How did your coaching go? Is everyone happy? Did they get value? Did they come away smiling? And he's like, yes, Shauna, it's okay. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Whew. You have to relinquish control a little. And I feel like anybody in the entrepreneur space, one of the reasons we go into this is because we are little control freaks in the nicest possible way.
100%. I'm an utter control freak. I hate when things are out of place. It irks me. Like I know there's a bowl in the sink. That's how neurotic I can be. I know there's a bowl in the sink and the dishwasher needs to be emptied. And I'm like,
that's a big thing. But like you say, energy wise, your energy needs to go somewhere else. And it's like one of the things they say, where focus goes, energy flows. Like if you're when you start a business, you're wearing all of the hats. You're the creator, you're the marketer, you're the admin, you're the everything. And there's going to be a part where one of those hats is where you want the majority of your focus to go. Yeah. So you need to give the hat to somebody else. And it's great to see that you're at a growth point where you can start bringing on people. Like I'm at that point where I'm like, it'll eventually happen.
But the thing is, it will.
Yeah.
Like it will. So you need to kind of just, sorry, this shouldn't turn into like a coaching call for me.
No, you're grand. Go for it.
But like you have to just keep pushing towards where you want. Like I have said since I started this that I love coaching acting, but it's not what I want to do full time.
Yeah.
I'm a business person. Yeah. I think strategically, I think creatively. That's where my absolute strength lies. I know there are better coaches out there than I am, and I'm going to find them and they're going to work with me. I want Take Two to be known as breeding these amazing actors and then being able to get them jobs. And I'm sitting up here at the helm, helping everyone to reach that goal. So like, I know that that's where my business is going to go, and it is going. And I've always said that. Yeah. Like, we're coming into manifestation here. Like I have always thought this is going to happen. I'm going to have an admin. I'm going to have coaches. I'm going to have like social media manager, hopefully soon, because I couldn't be bothered to make all the social media. Like it's that way inclined. And then I can see where my next 6 months is going. Like I know where I want to be at the end of this year. Yeah. And like, as you said at the start, like I'm not ashamed to say that I'm confident that Take Two will have 100K a year. Yeah. And I'm also confident to say that I'm going to be launching another business that I think will also have an 100K a year, because I know what I can do in the nice way possible. And I now trust that. I did not always.
How did you get to trust in it? Such a big question. I'm sorry to like just throw that on you.
No, that's a good question. Like, I think it's through, like, I've always known myself that I have something special for people, and that people orientate towards me. And I want to help people to be the best versions of them, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
And it's leaning into that. It's leaning into that, but also seeing that like I work really hard. I work really, really hard. Like there's days when I am working from the minute I wake up till the minute I go to sleep, and I don't mind. I love it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like work to me, but I'm still working. And from that, I've seen results, and I've seen what I can do. And I've seen that people want to work with me, and it's hearing the feedback. Like I literally had a call with someone this morning. So we had a workshop a few weeks back, and we ran a competition then, clever marketing ploy that again I came up with the morning of. And I was like, okay, so after the workshop, what we're going to do is we're going to have a competition where if people post us to their story and tag us, that they get entered into a draw for a free class with me. So that's 30 minutes out of my time, but we gained like 200 followers on Instagram from it.
Yeah.
So like it's being strategic that way also. But I was chatting with this girl, and gorgeous girl, so lovely. Like, of course I went over 30 minutes. But like she told me then, and it just made my heart so fucking warm, that like from that workshop, one of the girls made a group chat with everyone that was in the workshop. And now they all chat and they kind of send tapes to each other to like get feedback, and they ask where they can get ring lights, and they're all like hanging out virtually.
Community.
And I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. That's so cute. Like, and that just fills me with so much joy. So like, that's what I want. I want to help people, and I want them to build this community and to feel good.
Yeah.
Like, especially at the moment.
And I think you've hit the nail on the head in so many realms there, because like you're saying, that's your vision. You want to make other people the best versions of themselves. But then rewind to what you said a few minutes back about your daily routine and your selfish February. You're journaling, you're taking time for you, you're letting you be the best you. And that's where then, I know it's woo-woo to some people that might be listening, but the energy side, like when you're looking after you, that energy just goes out into the world, and the right people gravitate, they come in
100%.
like, and that's switching from that scarcity mindset into the abundance, picturing
100%.
your future, and it comes in. And I know like some people are gonna be like, Amy, I had a feeling you were woo-woo, but what? But
you know, it is woo-woo, but it's also not. Like, it's not. I thought it was. Like anyone, I'd say if you're listening back now, like if you go back and listen to the previous episode, I'm a very, very, very pragmatic, practical person.
Yeah.
Very pragmatic. I like, this is the answer. This is how you do it. We can be creative in this realm, but you get the results. I'm incredibly pragmatic, and I still am. Like that masculine energy is still very much there. But when you bring in both, and also like it is kind of relinquishing that control, but in the best way possible. It's like, okay, control what you can. Like I remember the one thing that I took away from working in corporate was a chat I had with one of the ladies that worked there. And I was so stressed, and I was really like, everything was fucking falling down, and candidates were being a pain in the ass. And she was like, Shauna, control the controllables. Control the controllables. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I was like, right, so what can I do? Okay, I can call this candidate. I can get this reference done. I can make that sales call. That's what I can control. And the rest is not up to you. You can't control how the world works or how people think. So I control my output. I control that I will do my morning routine. I will feed my dog because she'll die otherwise, although she eats an obscene amount. I will control that I will answer my emails. I will control that I will put out something on my story or my like my feed, and I'll post a TikTok. I will control that I will give really great energy to my private clients when I get on a coaching call, because they paid me for that and they deserve that.
Yeah.
So I'm controlling the controllables, and then the rest is kind of up to the world, like the universe or whatever, like whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Like it's up to there. And if people want to work with me, amazing. And if they don't, okay, fine. That's absolutely no problem. If I can help you in any way, let me know.
I love
so
that.
it is very much just like relinquishing that scarcity.
Yeah.
That's a huge. So
I think what you said about like, and I keep going back to it, like your selfish February, but like you got to that point where you're like, cop on, Shauna, like get your fucking shit together. And I think it takes people to, like, in the self-help world, we call it your breakthrough. That breakthrough moment of, I'm not taking this shit anymore. Something needs to change. And I feel like to break any sort of cycle, you know, whether it's an entrepreneurial mindset where you're like, get your shit together, let's get aligned, or emotionally, you know, I know everybody gained a bit of COVID weight, myself included. And some people needed it. I know a few of my mates are like, oh, I'm so glad. And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you did too. But there's one of those ones where like, you're just feeling a bit of rut. You feel like you're out of sorts. You feel like it. And it's like, you know, you can do something about that. Like if you're complaining about it, like, you can go do it. I think I say it in like episode 3 or something on this podcast. We're going way back when, but I'm like, you know, if someone has dry skin and they keep complaining about their dry skin, just put moisturizer on. Like, do you want to just complain? Like, I think what you've got to do is, like, if you are someone who typically complains, are you complaining just to get attention? Is that how you see love? Is that how you see affection? And then is that why you want to stay in the cycle? Or do you actually want something more for your life? Do you actually want to do more? Like, it's so easy to look at people like Shauna who've blown up. Anybody who started following her when we had our first podcast episode a good few months back versus now, you'll have seen the growth. And it's so easy to just be like, oh yeah, but that's her. Like, or like, but she's put the work in. She's worked hard.
And it's a whole month.
Yeah. Like, and you've just got your focus right. And it's so easy, I think, for people to go, oh yeah, but that's her. I could never. If you tell yourself you can't, you're not going to. If you tell yourself you can or you can't, you're right. Like, it's that self-talk piece you mentioned earlier, like your self-talk got better. And I find that, like, when you've got that affirmations, when you're looking after yourself, when you're taking that time for you, things do happen.
Well, it's like you're in attraction. You've opened yourself up and said, okay, I'm ready. Come at me. Let's go. And that's what literally. And like, that's the exact same thing that I did. Like, I wasn't ready for more clients. I wasn't ready. Start of February, absolutely not ready. I was a mess. Like, mentally, I just wasn't there. I was in a rut. Like, I just felt shitty. And I was like, if I had got clients, then I wouldn't be able to serve them like I do now.
Yeah.
So I had to do that work for myself. I had to look after me first, and I had to get back to myself and a better version of myself.
Yeah.
Before I was ready. And when I was ready, that's when TikTok. Why did I decide to post that TikTok on that day? Like, why did that casting come in? Why did that person call me that morning? Why did I think about him that morning? And then suddenly he calls me and he's like, do you have anyone like this? And I'm like, oh, Jesus, no, I don't. Why is it that it's him and he's the casting director that I really want to impress because I think he's amazing?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm a dog with a bone. I'm a dog with a bone right now and I need to find this person. And I did. So why did that all happen that day? And it's because I was ready.
Yeah.
I was ready. And I heard a really great quote recently, and I'll bring it back to another acting kind of story here. But with acting, obviously, you get a lot of rejection. Yeah. You get a lot of rejection. You get a lot of heartbreak, a lot of, it's fucking brutal. But it's a bug and you get stuck and you can't get out because it's who you are. And I was interviewing this actress, Leah Minto, for the Take Two podcast. And I asked her what was the best piece of advice that she ever got. And she's a very, very talented person. And she was saying that she was in a rehearsal with her coach one day and she just wasn't connecting with the scene. Like, she just wasn't getting it. She wasn't present. And she said to him, she was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, I don't think I can do this anymore. And he just turned around and he said, then don't do it. Do it or don't. And I was like, I love that. And that's going exactly back to what you said of like complaining. It's such crippling energy and talk. And it's like, just shut up and do it or you don't. Don't bitch and moan about it in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, we all love a good bitch every once in a while. We all need a good while, for sure. But if it's habitual and just a nagging feeling of like, oh, this, oh, that, oh, did you hear what they said?
Every day is so shit. everything's
like,
complaining. And I was a negative person at one point. I know I share some of my health stuff and whatever else. And there was a point where I was just, everything was shit. Everything was horrible. And my boyfriend at the time was like, what good thing happened today? Tell me one good thing. And then it was after that I started journaling. And then now I'm like such a positive person. Like when I tell people I used to be like really negative and all these things, people are like, huh, that's not you. And I'm like, yeah, it's not me at all, but it's that old identity. But it happens. And like when Shauna and I here talking about the productive, the good vibes, like the good energy, the opposite is true. If you're saying I can't, well, you're not going to. If you're like, comparing yourself against other people, I compare myself against other people, but in a healthy way. I'm like, even with Shauna, like someone I'd a class as a peer, I'm like, she's been where I am right now and look where she is. Okay, well, if she's done that, then I can also learn from her and I can like get there too. Like comparing and competition is so healthy. It can be so healthy, but you just got to do it in the right sort of way.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
and it's even from a business or personal, if you're looking at people and you're like, and don't get the glossy eyes from Instagram, like you see their highlight reel, but if you're looking at people who are confident and motivating and all these things, you're like, oh, why can't I be like that? I want to be like them. Take off your little sorry excuses and just go for it. And if you feel like it's a mile away, reach out to a coach, reach out to even them and be like, how did you do, like, how do you get there? Like, don't get me wrong. I have bad days. Well, what I'm trying to do is not have bad days anymore. I want to just have bad moments.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And I think that's so true. And when you have those bad moments, don't get frustrated with yourself.
No, feelings healing. You've got to feel, and it's all energy. Like Shauna was saying earlier, and I'm just going to get even more woo-woo on the energy side, but like, when you feel anger, when you feel upset, if you feel annoyance, if you don't let that out, that energy stays in your body and it can manifest in totally different ways. You could project it onto somebody else, or you could project it onto yourself and end up actually damaging your body. And I'll go into this deeper in another episode, because like you talk about woo-woo here, Shauna, I get super woo-woo in this other episode. But I talk about how that negative self-talk and not letting out your feelings and energies and sadness and anger can actually make you physically sick. Like I've had pretty intense surgeries that I honestly feel after time that I got that way because of my mindset, things that I chose to feel and energies that I did not let out. When you bottle things up, it goes somewhere.
Yeah. Like,
no, and like shake it out, get it out. Like, I
totally agree. And like, I do want to make it very clear, like I still have shit I need to deal with. I know I do. I'm not ready yet to deal with that shit. I'm not ready. I don't feel like I'm in a place where I am ready. I want to be, but I'm not. And I know that myself. And like, maybe that requires me getting some professional assistance with it. And like, that is something that I will do if I feel ready and when I feel ready. Like, I think I don't want to sit here and say like, oh, I'm perfect. And I'm like, I don't think perfect exists. But anyway, like, I'm doing so good. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I like, honestly, take your shit and turn it into art. Do something with it. Like, and I think it's so important to appreciate, like what you said, it's a highlight reel. And I feel even with podcasts and like on Clubhouse and like Instagram, all that, you're going to see a lot of, look at me, I'm amazing. Look at me, I'm doing so well. Look at me, I'm like excelling at what I do.
Yeah.
But you don't see what's going on underneath. And I think after my Selfish February, that's something that I'm really passionate about. Like, I'm really, really strong about it. Like, shit happens.
Yeah.
Shit happens. But it's having the grit and the determination to say, yeah, shit happens, but I'm not going to let that stop me.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit happens, but I'm not going to let that hinder my development and my growth. Yes, shit happens, but I'm not going to let that bad moment, like you said, turn into a bad day or a bad week or a bad month. You have to take control of yourself, because that is a controllable.
Yeah. I like that. Like you choose, and I guess it's one of the things I talk about throughout this podcast. You choose your story. You choose, you can't choose, you have no control over what you're going to get hit by, but you have a choice in how you're going to react to it. And I feel like one of the things Shauna said, you know, like with the crap happening, bad shit happens, but like if you keep letting it affect you, you're letting it win. You're letting it determine. And like, but you've got to feel safe to keep going. You've got to establish that safety in your body and your environment and the place you're in before you tackle these things. But if it's something you want to change, if it's something you want to improve, do it. What is stopping you? Is it a limiting belief saying, I'm not worth it, I'm not enough? Well, ask yourself, where does that come from? Is that something I put on me, or is that something that a parent put on me, a teacher put on me? Did I have this traumatic moment that I forgot about where I went to an audition and I just got ripped to pieces, where I'm like, fine, I do suck, I don't fit in your tiny little box, so I'm just going to sit in the corner and be a sheep and nod. Like, ask yourself where these things come from, and I guarantee you 9 times out of 10 it's going to be from somebody else. It's going to be something else happen, and you develop this limiting belief to protect yourself, you know, instead of feeling the victim. You're like, oh, it's okay, I'm really emotional, oh, it's okay, I'm not worthy of that kind of stuff, little old me, no, it's fine. But ask yourself, where the hell did that come from? If that's something that's stopping you from having an exceptional life, where did it come from? And do you want to keep it? Is this something that you know to be true about you? Is this something that the universe has put on you? Or is this something that bullshit people who are jealous, who don't give a fuck, are putting on you? Is this who I am? Yes or no? Well, if it's not, toodles, what am I going to turn that into? One of the things I've been learning with my course at the moment is, like, when it comes to those limiting beliefs, when you want to transform them, you know, especially if it's self-worth, where you're going from, oh, but I'm not enough, I'm not good enough. I'm in the process of becoming my true authentic self. I am in the process of becoming an entrepreneur. I am in the process of becoming this. You might not feel like you, because it's, you know, you can say all these mantras and all these things like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, but it's a physical thing. You've got to do the work. You have to get there. I mean, it's like, you could say I'm not worthy to go, I am worthy, but they're so right and left. You can go from that, I'm not enough, I am in the process of getting there. Like, even try that out. That's your homework for the week from me, is look at your limiting beliefs, ask where they come from. Is this from somebody else or me? How do I feel about this limiting belief? And is this true? And depending on how those, what are you going to do to transform that? And what action are you going to take? Try it out. Let me know how it goes. And even from the stuff Shauna said earlier, if any of you feel like you need to give yourself a second selfish April, go do it. And I want to know what comes off the back of that. Like, I'm going to do it. So I'll be updating you all on where I go and what happens next. But it's, if we want this life that, you know, you look at Shauna's growth, and that's why I wanted to get her on here. Like, from someone who's watched you for Shauna for so long, I wouldn't have had a clue that you were having such a tough like time in November and stuff. And I knew you'd had a tough time with the loss that you'd experienced last year, because I remember you posting it about it. But you were still consistent. You still kept your stuff going. Like you say, you see the highlight reel. Like, I obviously, as a human, I know obviously those things would affect you, but from watching your stuff, I'm like, oh, she's still doing her thing. Like, she's still grinding away. She's still doing her stuff. And like, to hear that you had such a tough November and time, I wouldn't have even noticed. Have noticed, as someone that sees all your content, sees your stuff. Like, and that's why I wanted to get Shauna on, and not just Shauna. That's also why I'm getting these entrepreneurs on, because it's so easy to think, oh, but these people have all that together. They have their shit together. They're not like me. They are like you. They are you. We are all the same. I think conventionally as humans, we have the same needs, same wants. Like, everything that Shauna's saying here, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, it's something that you can put into your own life and get you out of cycles, and it will genuinely improve things.
I think what you've just said there, it's a cycle. And I feel like I've probably been in that cycle for since I was like 16 years old, 15 years old. Like, I've been stuck in that cycle of like, I bottle everything. I'm a fucking good bottler. Like, because I don't want to, and I still do this and I'm trying to get better, but I don't want to put my shit on someone else. I don't want my shit to become someone else's shit. But I can keep going. And that's something I'm very good at. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
So, you wouldn't have had a notion that I was feeling a bit crap for the last few months, because I'm so practiced. Like, as tragic as that sounds, it's the truth. Like, I'm really, really good at bottling, and I'm really, really good at keeping going and distracting myself with being busy rather than actually looking at myself. And it's a cycle that's been going on. I'm 24 now. It's been going on for like 8 years. Like, and I had to just catch myself and say, enough is enough, woman. Like, stop. Deal with your shit, because you have fucking shit. Yeah. And you need to process that, and you need to deal with that. And that's an ongoing thing. And it's a very up and down thing. Like, I'm still going to have my good days. I'm going to have my bad days. The last few days have been down days. They've been bad days. Yeah. But I've had a lot of really good days as well recently, when I've just felt like high on life. And it's being okay with the down days, and the days that you're not going to feel great, and the day that something triggers something, and the day when you just need to sit outside on the front porch and read your book for ages, not like I did not today. Like, it's okay. Like, don't be so hard on yourself, but you can do it. Yeah. One thing that I like, this is such a simple thing, and I honestly think everyone should download this app. It's called I Am. You get on the App Store. I think it's like €5 for the year, and it just sends you little reminders all day. It's like an Instagram notification, but a really nice one, and it's pretty and it's pink, and I love it. Like, I have one at the moment. It says, I attract love into my life. And it's just these little moments of like a reminder during the day of like, you've got this. You got it. Good work. Go you.
I love
and
that.
Like, that. Like, and it's so easy and it's so simple, but it is so effective. Oh, the puppy's awake. Where is she gone?
She's adorable.
Oh, no. She's gone into the sun. Oh my God, she's so cute. And it's Emmy. She makes me so happy, but also so sad because she poops.
Everyone poops, Shauna.
Oh, no. She puked all over my couch the other night, which was great. I was like, no. Usually she gives me a warning, but this time she just sat up and went, bleh.
Oh gosh.
I know.
Yeah, but she's adorable, so she gets away with it.
She gets away. She just like looks at me and she's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's fine. Don't worry. But like, you guys listening can do it. Yeah, I know you can do it, because if I did it, you can do it. And I still have my shit that I have to deal with on a daily basis. And I still have my like body issues and self-doubt issues and all that jazz, but I'm dealing with it. And I'm actually prioritizing dealing with it because it's important. So that's kind of, sorry, I think she's actually stuck. No, she's not. She has a cone in her head, for anyone listening. She had an operation and she keeps getting stuck in things. But like, just prioritize you first. And if you are a business owner, your business will flourish. And if you are working in corporate and you want to climb that ladder, you will attract those promotions. You will attract those sales. You will attract that attention from your superiors. I literally guarantee you.
Yeah, I like that. Like, it's not having that scarcity mindset. Like, and I'm sure we could probably do a whole episode on scarcity mindset, but I think we've definitely delved into, I could see her little cone. Oh, it's blue. Oh, Emmy.
I'm actually just going to open that door so she
go
doesn't
for it.
scream.
Yeah. But what Shauna said is so accurate. Like, you can do this stuff for you, like, and you've just got to do it. Stop questioning yourself. Like, if you're waiting, and I have an episode coming up about this, if you're waiting for the right time, how about now? When would now be a good time?
There's no right time. That's bullshit.
Never. Like, it's one of those things, like, I know I'm getting into the stock world, but like Bitcoin, any kind of crypto stuff, any stuff, like, I'm like, I'll invest in that later. Like, if you look at stocks, it's better to get in early.
Yeah.
Like, if you're ever looking at the right time, get in at the beginning, because then shit goes cool. And it's so like now, like, get in now. If you're someone that's like, I want to try to eat better,
start today.
Do it. None of this. I'm gonna have one last big cheat meal beforehand. Do it. I want to start self-talk. I want to talk better to myself. Do it. I wanna drink more water. Do it. I want to sleep better. Put something in your routine. Like Shauna was saying, do your routine that help you do it. I would sleep shitty when my boyfriend's not around. And last night I did yoga before bed. Like a nighttime routine. Like I specifically picked a nighttime one because yoga wakes me up. And I slept like a baby last night. Like, do it. Like, Shauna's been able to flip things around. I'm doing that too. Like, we have our shit. We have our good days, our bad days, our good moments and bad moments. You don't have light without dark.
No.
Everything can't just be your highlight reel. Like, light doesn't exist without the dark side. I'm getting more into the woo-woo stuff and energy things here if you haven't heard about your light energy and your dark energy. But yeah,
actually,
go look it up.
I will look it up.
Really? Yeah. Similar to the masculine and feminine. But yeah, your light and your dark. And it's you've got to do this journey. Like, you're the only person, the most important relationship you have in your whole important life is with you. So if you're not doing something for you and looking after you, who the hell are you living for? What are you doing? Yeah,
you're 100%. It's going back to this: do it or don't sit in the middle, because that's the most frustrating part you can do. Like, you either do what you want to do or you don't do it, and then shut up. Like,
and if you're scared,
just surrender into the fact that, like, do you know what, I am not going to be a fitness influencer. That's not my jam. I might work out every now and again if I feel that way inclined. Don't really find the joy in it right now because I just miss the gym and I hate home workouts. So don't feel guilty. That's not helpful.
Not helpful.
It's the do it or don't, but don't feel guilty when you don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're scared, ask yourself why. Explore, get curious with yourself. Like, oh, I don't feel like I'm enough. Why? Like the limiting belief we talked about earlier. Like, oh, I'm scared to do it. Ask yourself why. Even chat it out with somebody. Like, do you feel like this way too? How did, like, and sometimes if there's someone on social media that's doing what you're doing, or someone you look up to, even reach out to them, thank them, say to them, like, you've really like inspired me to do this. And I feel like, honestly, when you tell people like, oh my gosh, I had such a light bulb moment when I listened to your podcast, or this came to my mind, the fact that you just speak it out and put it into existence, it then like comes back to you. Like, it keeps you focused on that thing. Again, we're going back to the energy woo-woo stuff, but it's true.
Like, at the end of the day, that's kind of how the world works. Like, there's parts of it that I don't get, I don't really understand, but I think there are definitely, it's real. Like, it's legit, it's real, it's there. I've seen the benefits. I've seen that, like, I am surrendering myself to be in this like attraction mode, and the business that I have generated in the last 4 weeks has been mind-blowing, fucking mind-blowing. I'm like, what? And I'm doing up my accounts the other day, I'm like, squeeze me? What? Like, it's amazing. And I'm so proud of myself for just actually taking that time to put me first. I've never done that.
Yeah.
And I've started doing that. But I will caveat, like, and say, if you're going to have like a selfish February or a selfish April, that doesn't mean you sit on the couch and you watch Netflix and you eat what you want and kind of just allow yourself to do whatever you want. But it's the time when you push yourself out of those cycles of like, oh, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to sit on the couch and I'm going to watch Grey's Anatomy. I still do that because it makes me happy. But like, I'm also going to listen to more podcasts that I'm curious in, and I'm getting curious of like, what is this whole energy shit about? I've heard so much about it, and it's forcing myself to get up earlier in the morning and have some me time. Yeah. And it's forcing myself to go for walks, because when you're in lockdown for nearly a year, it kind of gets a little bit demotivating to do that. You have to do something. It doesn't just happen. You don't just wake up one morning, it's like, oh my God, I've had a rebirth. No. Like, no. Yeah. And I'm sure, like, this is the kind of last big thing I'll say is like, I'm sure I said the last time, it's all well and good thinking that, like, I hate the saying, what'll be will be, and it just happens and all that shit. No, you make it happen. Mm-hmm. You make it happen. So you have to do the work. I literally have that above my bed in my parents' home, like a sign that's like a poster. It's really cute. I should bring it down here actually. That says, you make it happen. Shit doesn't happen for you. You're not living in a Disney film, as much as I wish we were. You don't live in a Disney film. You don't live in this idealistic existence. You have to put in the work first, then it'll happen. But you've made it happen.
100%. Like, life happens for you, not to you. These things you go through in your life is to teach you something, for you to learn from, for you to take action on. It's not, oh, little old me, that this keeps happening to me, or I'm gonna. No, it's happening for you. Like, this is see, this is why I have Shauna on here. Okay, do you get why I've had her back? Do you get it? Get it? I get it. I hope you get it. Like,
I hope so too.
And you've gave so many words of wisdom, so I feel weird asking this question, but like, what would be, because we covered so many different kinds of things, what would be your like top tip or top words of wisdom, entrepreneurial, personal, any kind of development, whether it's personal development or business development? What's the biggest kind of tip you could give someone to not let the shit consume them and to keep going and to get that drive?
Use it.
Ooh.
Use, like I've said, take your shit and turn it into art. And whatever your art happens to be, whether it's a monologue that you're doing, whether it's your business, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your like journey in a company, use that shit. Don't let that shit own you. Like, you're in control. You are in control of your emotions, and you need to, yes, there will be days when you don't have the energy to control it, and you have to just let yourself be. But in the grand scheme of things, you are in control of you, and that's the only thing you can control. So take those emotions and start looking at them in a way that is going to help you. Okay, my boyfriend broke up with me and I am heartbroken. Or you could look at it being like, okay, this relationship obviously wasn't right for me at this moment. Yes, I'm hurting. Yes, I'm sad. But I'm going to now take this time of being single to work on myself and get myself together and have this glow up, if you want to have it, or start this business with the time that I have that I'm not devoting to a relationship and to going on dates and sitting down in the evenings. I'm going to take it for me. And it's switching the way you look at things and using it.
Yeah. It's rewriting your story. I hate the shameless plug inside my own episode.
But it's true.
Like, yeah, it is. Ugh, Shauna, you always make me so happy.
I actually needed this podcast today. Like, good. I needed to have this conversation because, as I've said before, like, it's okay to have down days and just resign to that bad moments. But
I was about to say, you don't have days anymore. Moments.
But talking, and again, being in this energy, like, I'm sorry to go hippy dippy woo woo on you, but like, it's true. And if you had asked me 6 months ago, even if you had asked me this like 2 months ago, I'd be like, fucking hippie. Like, and now I feel like I get it. Yeah, and I buzz off this and I get energy off this. And I released a 6-week course today and it went on sale today. And I know I've made one sale already, which is fab, But I know that after having this conversation now and feeling more open and more like ready to receive, I'm going to have 5 more bookings tonight. I'm going to. And I'm confident in that because I've now changed my energy and I've changed how I'm feeling. Yeah. So I'm ready to receive. Thank you, universe. Send me all the bookings. Thank you very much. I'm ready for it. I wasn't this morning because I was just like, eh.
I'm glad you didn't cancel or postpone.
I am too. I am too.
In fairness, with the zone I've been in recently, I think I would have poked you a little. I'd be like, oh, are you okay? What's going on? And then if you're like, yeah, I'd be like, come on, Shauna. I think I would have. Yeah, I've been in that kind of wavelength recently. Yeah. But as we're on the topic of receiving here, Shauna, for those people who are listening, who don't know you, who don't know how to get in touch with you, who may be interested in getting coaching or knowing more about this acting world, how do they reach out to you? How do they get in touch?
Very good question. So we are on Instagram at Take Two Actors Agency. So take and the number 2 Actors Agency. We have a couple of programs at the moment. So we have a 12-week course, one-on-one coaching. So you have 2 30-minute calls with myself or one of the other coaches twice a week. And then we have like an online learning platform. We have group calls. It's just so much fun. So there's a 12-week program. We have just released a 6-week program, and this is self-paced. I have recorded like 30 videos that you guys follow along, and you dive into monologues and character dev all on your own, but then you get to send us a video every week on your like homework tasks and we review it. There's then also group calls. It's so great. And I've made it self-paced so that I can make it cheaper, and I'm making it accessible to a lot of people. So of course, like the 12-week is a premium cost-wise because we give you so much energy and we give you so much time. This one is so much cheaper because I can make it cheaper. So if you click the link in our bio on at Take Two Actors Agency, all of the booking and how to do things is on that. And if in doubt, just send us a message, and the lovely Nicole, who I'm obsessed with, will give you all the information that you need. If you want to reach me directly, I have my personal Instagram page. I'm not great on my DMs because, again, protecting the energy and the boundaries and all that jazz, I don't have the capabilities to go through my requests that often. Yeah. But it's at Shauna Griffith _. So if you have any kind of personal questions, that's where you can find me. And I'm going to let you in on a little sneaky. I love that sneaky word.
You get a little exclusive, a little sneaky. I like that.
We love a little exclusive sneaky. So very soon, once we can get the coaching for Take Two outsourced, I'm actually going to be launching another business, and that will be on business coaching. So helping people to get their businesses online off the ground, because I've gone through mentorship, I've gone through like coaching programs, and I find it's either very masculine or very feminine. Mm-hmm. Hard to find that mesh. Yeah. And that's where I want to focus. So to help people get their businesses off the ground, which I am really excited about, like, because I love all the strategy. I love all the kind of the marketing and the structure and all that jazz, but also now really focusing in on, you are the CEO and you need to have that CEO mindset. And you need to have that abundance mindset and attraction and magnetism in you before you can even start to be successful. So that's coming. So keep an eye out for that.
I'm excited for that. I'll even keep an eye out for that. Obviously, I love Shauna as a human. Otherwise, I wouldn't have her involved in this, in my baby. But there's also that part where I'm like, I'm into what she's at. Like, what's her secret sauce? How's she getting there? What's the recipe behind it? Like, but
there's no secret. It's hard work, and it's perseverance and grit and hunger.
Yeah.
Absolute deep-seated hunger. I'm not going to give up on what I want because I'm stubborn as fuck. I know what I want. I see it. I can literally picture it. I've already Pinterest boarded my office that I'm going to have, and I'm going to have people in there with me, and we're going to be working, and there'll be little individual pods where people can go in and do their coaching calls. I see it. I know my color schemes. Like, it's It's just the way I work. I'm visual. I can see these things, and because I see them, it will happen when it's meant to happen. Key caveat.
Yeah. Oh man, I get all the little goosebumps. I can't wait to hear more about the business coaching thing. I'll be keeping an eye out for it. And like, I know Shauna just mentioned a bunch of different links, a bunch of different stuff. If you didn't write it down, it'll all be in the description below. Whether you're watching it on YouTube, it'll be below, or if it's on the podcast platforms, there'll be a hyperlink in there that you can click on, and magic will happen. I'll probably just link your link tree. I think it's all in there.
I think that's probably the easiest.
Yeah, rather than linking everything individually.
Yeah.
But yeah, reach out to Shauna, you know, whether it's you're wanting to know more about the courses, the company, and, you know, stay tuned obviously for the business mindset. Please don't flood her mailbox with a million questions.
I'll do my best.
Stuff is coming, but definitely reach out. Like, she's a wonderful human. Like, I can't talk about her enough, which is so strange, because when we met in person, we didn't really like talk a lot. We didn't really even get to know each other a lot, because I was like, oh, she's busy doing her thing, and I'm like, whatever, I'll not.
That was where we worked.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. And then, but I feel like, again, energy, right? Like, like-minded people, it'll attract, it still attracts, it still happens. Like, yeah, you're not getting rid of me.
I can tell you're gonna, like, literally what I'm envisioning and creating with this business mentorship, like, you would fucking love it. You'd love it. Like, I know you would.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like, I want to cater for creative people, because I've seen that, like, it's just so common that these amazing artists and creatives and everything, they have this side, their feminine energy is so strong, and they're so intuitive, and they're so, like, they have such beautiful ideas, but they can't get this business savviness. Yeah. And I see people undervaluing themselves, and like, don't see themselves as like, oh no, like, they wouldn't pay that much for my services. I'm like, why are you devaluing your skills and your ability?
Worth. Yeah.
Like, why are you doing that? It actually drives me bananas, like, actually bananas, because it's what you are offering people as a creative individual, like, say with acting for me and singing for you, like, they are life skills. They bring joy to people's lives. They benefit you in so many different ways than just being able to say a monologue or sing a song.
Yeah.
They help with your self-confidence. They help with your ability to stand up in front of a crowd, which is invaluable in so many different facets of your life. So it's like, when you see people, sorry, I've gone off on tangent again, but when you see people devaluing themselves, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop this. Bold. Like, you have to see your worth. Like, and you're so worthy. Like, you are worth so much money. Like, I think people are in the creative space are afraid to talk about money.
Yeah. And I think it's also, we do a lot of the stuff for free. Like, at the start of our careers, it's like, can you sing at this wedding? Can you do this thing for free? Oh, you know, like, oh, you can stay at the event, but like, can you just sing for free? And like, I think that's because of how a lot of us start in our industry. Then when it comes to asking for the dollars or the pounds or the euros, whatever currency you're in, that bit gets tricky.
Like, I get it in the sense of, like, say, taking an actor, because of my industry, like, you're going to have to do free work. Like, you have to do the student films and the indies to build up a show reel so that then you can get paid.
Yeah.
That's a given. I did so much fucking free work during my teens, like, and I loved it. There was nothing wrong with that. But I think it's more so on the coaching aspect and on the delivery aspect. Like, why would you give your intellectual property away for free?
Yeah.
Why? Give nuggets. I've given you guys nuggets. I'm not going to give you away everything.
Yeah.
Like,
buy our course and you'll learn more.
Well, like, especially with the acting, like, there's so much to it. Yeah. And there's so many nuances and little, like, again, the whys. But you are so worthy, and you know so many unique things, and you have your own unique way of looking at it. So you have to value that, because that is copyright. That is intellectual property, and stop giving it away for free, please.
I like that. Like, yeah, if you're adding value, you should be getting paid. Yeah. Like, it's your worth. It's also, if you know you're going to be giving them value, if you know your work is transformative, like you hear Shauna with all this confidence, and she knows her shit don't stink. Like she knows it works. So why the fuck would you be like, oh yeah, here you go, I'll just give it a, like, why? And it's again, it's part of that energy. It's part of the woo. It's part of the get the shit done. Like it's all part of the same shit that we've been talking about. Like,
so many nuggets, guys. So many nuggets.
So this is why you've got to reach out to her. You've got to get more of this gal in your life, whether it's, you know, you're following her other podcasts. I know, and I think that's always the thing. You kind of stalk. I don't know about you, but I'll not put this on anybody listening. But for me, I kind of stalk people for a while before I reach out to them. I'm like, what are you about? Let me see more of this. Yeah. So like, stalk away. I'll put all her info below. Stalk away. And I feel like there'll be at some point, whether it's one of the courses that she has now, whether it's the business stuff that's coming along, a penny will drop. You'll have an aha moment. A light bulb will go and you'll be like, ooh, this is where Shauna fits in my story. Okay, Shauna, let's work together. Let's collaborate. Like the people I bring on here, I bring them on because they've impacted me. And if they impact me, I feel like they will impact you as well. So stalker, keep an eye out and do your homework. Shauna, do you have any homework you want to place? I know I just kind of said do Shauna's selfish month thingy, but like, is there any homework you want to give them?
Download the I Am app.
Okay.
Super easy.
Do it.
Set it to max notifications and actually read every one of them. Don't just go like dismiss, like read them and take a second. Like, let's see if I have any new ones. Do I have any? No. And then I'm disappointed because I want more of that good stuff.
Aww.
Like it's such a brilliant app, but you need to be present. So download the I Am app and then take your selfish February. Take it, but do something with it. And then I think I said the last time, but if you are kind of right now sitting in this like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know what to do. Like, how can I turn my passion into a business and all that jazz? Make 2 lists. I'm pretty sure I said this in the last one. So make one column, things I'm good at, things I enjoy, cross-reference and focus. Because it can be so difficult. It's like, oh my God, but there's so many different things I want to do. Like, oh my goodness. Like when I started running my business, and the mad thing is that it's less than a year ago. Like,
wow.
I left corporate in May 2020. It's March 2021. And the journey that I've come on in those months is insane, like literally insane. But when I was thinking, right, how do I get out? Business coaching would never have been on my radar ever, because I'm like, I know nothing about this. But now it's like, it's something that I'm excited about. It's something that I'm really passionate about because I can see that in less than a year, I've changed my life. And you can too. So figure out what you enjoy, figure out what you're good at, and just go for it. Like, stop making fucking excuses. Just go and do it.
Get shit done.
Do your shit.
And you're doing it for you. You're doing it for nobody else but yourself.
Yeah.
You will grind in a job. You will do stuff because you're being micromanaged, pressured by somebody else. Why won't you do that for you? Give yourself that gift of doing it for you. Yep. Ugh. What a magical part to end the podcast on. I love nuggets. And especially the turning your shit into art. I love that. I literally see like a graphic, like an image of like someone right by the loo with a bit of a poop stain on their butt cheek and the toilet roll in their hand, and they're making art in the wall.
Oh my God.
As soon as you said it earlier, that little image flipped into my head. I'm like,
that's so funny.
Someone needs to make a graphic. If I was a graphic designer, I'd do it.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah, it's not wrong.
See, there's me going into a tangent. You thought you were the only one who'd do it.
I think we all do, to be fair. Like,
yeah,
it's totally fair.
As I was saying, that was maybe a better note to end it on than me going off a tangent on poop art. But
it works.
It works. But like I said, have all of Shauna's info below or wherever, if it's here or here. I never know where my square ends up when I'm editing, but it'll be somewhere down in the info text part somewhere. Reach out to her, get her involved in your life, and let us know, reach out, let us know how your homework went, you know, what you tried, what worked for you, what you were doing. We'd love to hear. And as always, Shauna, thank you for popping on. It's been great to hear more of your story and see more of your journey. And thank you for sharing it with me and my listeners.
Thanks for having me, babes. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed it, and I needed it.
Good.
Like, I needed it. So good use of St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. The luck of the Irish. Yeah. The luck of the Irish.
No, thank you. I really appreciate you asking me back on.
Well, anytime. I'm all, it's more so me finding the time, or you finding the time, or us both finding the time, because I'm like, we could talk about this, we could also talk about that, there's so many things. So it's like, and I'm sure Shauna will be back, you know, if there's anything from her story that you guys listen to.
We'll come back in another 9 months and see where I'm at.
And if there's anything that you guys have heard her kind of talk about and you want to hear more of, reach out to her, reach out to me, let us know. You know, she may have already talked about one of these topics in one of her other podcasts as well, so it's definitely worth giving them a follow too. But I guess get your homework done, look at that energy, look at those limiting beliefs, and just put you first. Be a little selfish this week and continue it into your other weeks. Just you live this life for you, so just fucking do it. You got this, guys. So until next week, have fun. Keep us posted on your homework, and I guess tune in and we'll chat to you then. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast this week. I really look forward to hearing what you got from this episode, what you did with regards to your homework this week, and if there was any light bulb moments you had. So please, please, please make sure to let me know what you thought and what those moments were down below in the comment box. And make sure to subscribe to make sure you do not miss any new episodes. And if you want to be a part of the Rewrite Your Story community, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. And you can follow us at rewriteyourstory.ca on Instagram, Facebook, and our website.